Darshni, and for today's video we will be doing a video on fractions. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here I have a PPT on fractions. So firstly, let's check out the learning objective of today's video. Today we will be learning about the introduction to the video, parts of fraction, representing fraction with the help of a diagram, proper fraction and improper fraction, conversion of improper fraction to mixed fraction, like fractions and unlike fractions, equivalent fractions, and fractions on a number line. So firstly, let's start with introduction to the chapter fractions. So first, suppose it's your friend's birthday today and no birthday goes on without a birthday cake. So here we have a cake. So this is the cake and your friend has cut it into 8 equal parts. Remember that it is equal parts. So now you want to eat one of the pieces. Let's make our cake back again. The blue part you want to eat. Now if you take one part out of that 8 parts, what do you mean? It's known as a fraction. What is fraction? Firstly, fraction is a part of a whole. Now this whole contains 8 pieces. And now if you take one part out of that, which means it is a part of a whole. Now you can represent that as 1 by 8, which means that 1 is taken out of 8. So always the things that are taken out are represented in the top. Now we're telling top, bottom, line and anything. Now let's learn what are they called. What are the parts of fraction? The number which is above the line and the number which is below the line and the line. Let's know. So let's take the example of 1 by 2. So this one, the number which is above the line is known as numerator. This line, always because it's line, right? Now this line is known as vinculum or fractional bar. It's a fractional bar or a vinculum. Now the number above a vinculum or fractional bar is known as a numerator. This bar right here is known as a vinculum or a fractional bar. Now the number that is always below the vinculum or fractional bar is known as a denominator. It's known as a denominator. Moving on, we have representing fraction with the help of a diagram. So suppose I have 3 diagrams over here, a rectangle, a mini rectangle and a circle. Now this rectangle right here is divided into 6 equal parts. Now here we are representing the shaded portion. The one that is shaded. Here, how many blocks are shaded? There are 2 blocks which are shaded, number 1 and number 2. I have already told you that the ones that are taken out or that are shaded are written as the numerator. So you can write it as 2 by 6. Here we have the same rectangle, but here we have 4 shaded parts, 3 and 4, out of 6 blocks, 5 and 6. Now this can be represented as 4 by 6. Now I'm not going to tell the circle. If you know, please give it in the comments down below. I will tell in the next part of fraction. Moving on, we have proper and improper fractions. Firstly, let's know the definition. Proper fractions. A fraction with a numerator that is less than to the denominator is known as the proper fraction. I will also read the improper fractions first. A fraction with a numerator that is greater than to the denominator is known as an improper fraction. Don't get confused, I'll tell it into easy words. So what is this proper fraction? It is when a fraction, so we know that this is a fraction. I've taken the example of 1 by 2. I'm not going to take it for improper fraction. First, let me explain this. So for a proper fraction, the numerator, which is the number that is above the fractional bar, this number should be less than the denominator. So this is the denominator. So this numerator should be less than the denominator. So this denominator should be less than the numerator. Moving on, we have the improper fraction. A fraction with a numerator that is greater than the denominator. Let's take the example of 2 by 1. Same, it is reversed. So, in improper fraction, the numerator should be less than, should be more than the denominator. Here, it should be less and the denominator should be more, which is the greater number. Here, the numerator should be the greater number and the denominator should be the lesser number. For example, we have 3 by 7. What is this? It is a proper fraction because the numerator is less than, so here we're actually talking about the numbers. We're talking about the numbers. So the numerator is lesser than the denominator. Another example, 1 by 5. The numerator is less than the denominator. 5 by 2. What is this? It is an improper fraction because the numerator is greater to the denominator. I have another example, 6 by 2, which represents an improper fraction as the numerator is greater than the denominator. We have conversion of improper fraction to mixed fraction. Firstly, let's know what is a mixed fraction. A whole number and a fraction, when combined together, form a mixed fraction. So, how do you get a whole number? For example, let's take 4 by 4. We cancel 4 and 4, 1, a whole number. So 1 is a whole number. Like that, we have an example called 2 1 by 3, which represents 2 as a whole and 1 by 3 as a fraction. Now, to convert an improper fraction to a mixed fraction, I have taken the example of 5 by 2. So let's convert it into an improper fraction, a mixed fraction. Firstly, you have to divide 5 with 2, like so. So 2 2s are 4. If you subtract 4 from 5, you get the remainder as 1. Now, how do you write it as a mixed fraction? The formula is QR by D, which is quotient, remainder and divisor. So what is the quotient over here? The quotient becomes the whole, the remainder goes as the numerator and the divisor goes as a denominator. So here you write it as the quotient is 2, remainder is 1 and the divisor is 2. Now, if you had to convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction, let's take the example of this 2 1 by 3. This formula helps you. 2 1 by 3. So the denominator should be multiplied with the whole number, should be added to the numerator to get your numerator, and the denominator is the denominator, like 3 2s 6, 6 plus 1 7, 7 by 3. So this is this. Moving on to our next topic, which is like and unlike fractions. So for like and unlike fractions, first let's know the definitions. Like fractions, when two or more fractions have the same kind of denominators, they are called like fractions. Like 4 by 10, 7 by 10. It means that the denominators should be same. In this topic, we're talking about only denominators, not the numerators. So the denominators should be same. 2 or more, like 1 by 7, 4 by 7, and 6 by 7. So these are like fractions. Next, unlike fractions. When two or more fractions have different kind of denominators that are called unlike fractions, like 2 by 5 and 4 by 7. So it can also be like 2 by 5, 4 by 7, and just a minute guys, just erase this one. Okay, 2 by 5, 4 by 7, 7 by 9, and endlessly. Now, if you get a question like if you have the 1 by 7, 4 by 7, 6 by 7, 7 by 9, comma 1 by 8, and if they ask you to group the like fractions, since 7 is common over here, you will group 1 by 7, 4 by 7 and 6 by 7. And 7 by 9 and 1 by 8 are unlike fractions. Next, equivalent fractions. Sorry, the E is not visible, but it's equivalent fractions. So equivalent fractions has the same value. The fractions have the same value, but they may look different because when you multiply or divide the top and the bottom both by the same number, the fraction keeps its value the same. For example, 1 by 2. If I multiply 1 by 2 with 2 into 2, you'll get the answer is 2 by 4. If I multiply it again with 2 into 2, you'll get the answer is 4 by 8. Now, if I start it in the reverse manner, 4 by 8 divided by 2 gives me 4, I'm doing divided by 2 divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 2 by 4. Then again, if I divide it by 2 by 2, it gives me 1 by. That is equivalent fractions. Lastly, we have fractions on a number line. How do you represent 2 by 4 on a number line? Let's get our number line. Now, this is 0 and this is 1 always. Firstly, here we again concentrating only on the denominator. Since the denominator is 4, we're going to be dividing this line into 4 equal parts, like 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if you're wondering, I have only had 3 lines, and why have I told 1, 2, 3, 4? You'll get to know. So this is the first, second, third and fourth. Start writing 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4 and 4 by 4. I have already told you that 4 by 4. 4 and 4 get cancelled. Nothing but 1. So here we have our 1. Now they're asking us to mark 2 by 4. So here is our 2 by 4. So you mark it over here. Then another sum. It's 4 by 7. So I'll just move myself over here. So it's 4 by 7. Have our number line. I'm just going to move the camera up here. So our number line. Again, we've divided it 0 and 1. 1 by 7, 2 by 7, 3 by 7, 4 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7 and 7 by 7 is nothing but 1. Now where is 4 by 7? Right here. So here you will be marking your 4 by 7. So that's it for today's video. If you're new to this channel, please like, subscribe and turn on those post notifications. And we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.